Well, hello, it's Friday, so we're a little bit late for Woolly Hats Wednesday Wits, but we're here at last. So apologies for the hat, but it's very windy and you wouldn't be able to see my face because the wind would be blowing the hair in my face and I wouldn't be able to see you and what I'm doing. So shades and hat, it's the summer, guys. So what have I been up to? Well, one finished sock, this is the lacy pattern, and I'm now on to, I've finished shaping the gusset, which is there needs to be a new word for that. I'm now onto the foot of the second sock. So if you remember, this is the lacy pattern, which looks quite simple. It is quite effective. There we go. And I'm not really a fan of lace, but I thought that looks quite nice. And you may remember I had to take it out 3 times. It was part of my holiday project. But I've got to grips with it now. I still don't like lace. Anyway, this is hieroglyphic. There we go. Done in a plain sock, but I thought that was quite nice because it was light, so you can see the lace, but it's got some nice little bits of colour in. So the wool is from Woolly Tangle, and she's based in North Wales. I actually bought the yarn at a wool event they had at Mould a couple of years ago. And that's called Silver Birch, which is very nice. It looks like a silver birch leaf bark. So this is by Jane Burns, and it was in the Knitter issue 178. So that's there. Okay, so that's that one there. So nearly finished that, which is fab. So as you might remember, I've also finished the jumper for Mr. W and various other things. So it's like, what projects? Well, I have actually got 2 projects which I need to sort. One is a crochet top, which I just need to finish the arms, and the other one is something I started a couple of years ago, and it was a crochet jumper, and it was a dropped pattern, and it was really hard to follow, and I've abandoned it, and I can't find either of those, which is a shame. I need to find the second one because I have decided on what my latest project is. So this one is the ultimate stash buster. So as you might know, I do lots of socks. So in my bag here, there's loads and loads of bits of sock yarn, because 100 grams of sock yarn will actually knit you 3 socks. So unless you Jake the peg, you always get some left, or if you want really long socks, you always get some left. So I've got lots of bits of sock yarn left, and I've been thinking about what to do. Now, I have a friend who, excuse me, the hair's going on mad. She does hats with sock yarn and a jumper, so just excuse me. And I thought, well, what can I do? And I was a bit lost. So I thought, well, I could do there was a nice crochet top that I thought I could use some for, but I started that because a lot of the wool is it's self-striping. It's quite difficult to see, and some of it's quite dark as well. So I gave up that idea, and then I was having a cup of tea and thought, what can I do now? So I went through a lot of my old knitting and crochet magazines to see if there are any patterns worth keeping before I chuck them all out, and I found this rather lovely that pattern there. So it's squares of different colours, and it's by Cecilia Laney and Mario Canna using Manos de Uruguay yarn. And it's a double knit pattern, so it's also using Intarsia, which, a bit like lace, is not my favourite, but that is not too difficult. You're not following a picture that you have to do lots of things for. So I thought I'll do that. So I fertiled in my sock yarn drawer, put that there so it doesn't fly away, and started pairing up, because sock yarn is 4-ply and the pattern is double knit. So I was pairing up bits of yarn like that to create the yarn to knit with, and I'm quite pleased with the effect. So here is what I've done so far. So move that there. So the cuff is West Yorkshire Spinners Double Knit Colour Lab, which is also from my stash from doing the the Stash Buster blanket. And here you can see the different squares using the different wools. So each of those is 2 different wools. So you can, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares there. So with 2 balls of wool for each one, you can imagine there's a lot of balls of wool there. So what you do with Intarsia is you create little bobbins like that. So you wrap the wool round in a figure of 8 around your fingers and use the end to create a link, and it pulls out as you start knitting, and that means that I've got only those six bobbins. Now you can buy little plastic things to make bobbins, but they're quite easy to do. I might put something on the older YouTube to show you how to do that. But I'm really pleased with how this is coming out because the colour combinations are absolutely fab. So the reason for finding the other project, so when I started and I dropped one doing my head in, is I'm going to unravel it and use that again because there's some greens in that which I think will go nicely. So really pleased with that. Going back to the bobbins, you can work out how much to use for a bobbin. That is, if you wrap you all round the needle for the amount of stitches you need, and then that creates the length you need for your bobbins. However, I just winged it, I guessed it, so that might not be enough, it might be enough, we'll see. But there you go. So this is my latest project, and hopefully it won't get too tangled up. That's great, isn't it? So that's me this week. I hope you're having a fab week. I shall just put that down there gently, and that you're doing some interesting things and having a good time. That's all for me this week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.